It's been a while since I've really done this on here, but there are new people following me. So first of all, thank you for following. I hope that I can, you know, you know what I mean. Help you on your journey if you're open to it. So we're just gonna get into it. First card out, showing up for self. So this could go either way. This could be a message for you to make sure that you are showing up for yourself, or it's a good job. You're really doing the thing. You're really showing up for yourself. You should be proud of yourself. However, that resonates for you, but that's how I interpret that in this moment. Oop, card is this. We have the Knight of Wands. You could be dealing with someone who's like a Knight of Wands figure. They don't necessarily have to be a giant cricket creature thing, but someone who's very passionate, very fiery in some way, some capacity. They could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. It doesn't really matter. Then we have the Knight of Blades. This could be another figure. This could also just be a message that's coming to you. I'm kind of getting that it might be a person. Like these could be separate energies. The Knight of Blades, which is air sign energy, Aries, or I said Aries, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Aries energy was strong because the red, that like threw me off a little bit. Infinite spirit, angels, ancestors. I'm gonna call you in this moment. You have the Ten of Swords, yeah. Okay, so I pulled more cards, and we have the Aries energy, fire, passion, travel, temper. Oh, and then the incoming message, because I did say Aries. I was like focused on Aries earlier. Um, but we also have the Ten of Swords, the Empress, and this one card with a very specific message of I feel like I wasn't good enough for you. I had to self improve. So somebody you could have ended a relationship, you could have ended something with someone, friendship or otherwise, where it just like I don't know, like somebody just didn't feel like they were good enough, or like maybe they weren't living up to your standards, or vice versa. Maybe you're the other person. Maybe you didn't feel like you were good enough for someone. Um, but yeah, there's an energy of somebody walking away from something that was very fertile, very fruitful, because yeah, once again they just couldn't. I'm gonna pull from the romantic deck, I guess. If you've been with me for any amount of time, you probably know that I don't really love doing love readings, but I did get some love-based decks, romance-based decks. Let your friends help you. Um, Calling in your soulmate. Some of you could be meeting some new friends at this time, or recently you've met some new friends, and there's this energy of like, hmm, sorry, we have love yourself first at the top of the deck, also showing up for self once again. So there is that energy of like showing up for yourself and like treating yourself how you think you should be treated and blah 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 blah. Release your ex. Okay, so some of you are stuck on someone, or like you're thinking of someone, and look how dramatic she is. But you're thinking about someone, and in your heart of hearts you've gotten the messages, you've gotten the signs, and this isn't to shame you, this isn't to like be judgmental, this isn't to be like you should be doing X, Y, and Z. It's just more so the gentle reminder that like when you hold on to things and people and places that do not suit you, it can definitely be draining. You know what I mean? um yeah, but I mean, at the same time, we have free will, and if you want to reconcile with people that you that you shouldn't, I mean, just be safe, be smart, be wise. Moving on from that energy, gonna move on. I'm gonna pull from this Kawaii deck. Moving on from that energy, angels. What's going on? What do you want us to know in this moment? What do you want to say? We have the Page of Cups. Period. Yeah, that new energy. Yeah. Once you start working on yourself, once you start going within, I definitely feel like this Page of Cups energy. Um, will be more of a thing for you. Generally, the pages are kind of like the novices; they're very inexperienced. But like with the Page of Cups, this is like a love offer. This is like someone showing up and being like, "Hey, I would like to start something with you. I would like to, someone who's very confident. Ooh, period. Someone who's very confident. We have the Star card here also. Um, with the Fool. Ooh, period, and the Temperance. Someone relatively patient, I guess. But then we do have that Aries energy coming through. So for some of you, this could be someone who's kind of hot headed, but that won't resonate for everybody. We have the Eight of Pentacles. This could be somebody new once again, or somebody that you've already met recently. But like either way, I feel like this person also with the Eight of Pentacles will be someone who is working on their own things and is also going to encourage you to do your own things, and that'll be like a beautiful part of that. Um, Once again, this could be somebody you recently met or somebody you're going to meet soon, somebody that you're manifesting. But like part of that, part of reaching that is releasing someone or like detaching from someone in some way. You know, Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. Yeah, someone's moving towards a Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is about money. It's about finances. She's a stable individual. She's got her money together at least, if nothing else. Yeah, she's like the female equivalent. Well, not equivalent. The Empress would be the female equivalent, but um, they kind of line up. They both are royalty. They both, you know. But we do have the Empress. I forgot the Empress card came out in this deck. So the Empress and the Emperor. So like a power couple. It doesn't have to be like female male, but definitely will be something that is like very very good for you, very good for them, very good for the collective, etc., etc. And that's really dandy. It's really coolio, you know. So I'm gonna pull some from my deck again, see what comes through. Angels, what's going on? What do you want us to know in this moment? Self-discovery and soul searching. You are worthy of love and Cancer. You could be dealing with a Cancer. There could be a Cancer person in your life. But either way, it's the reminder that regardless of what life throws our way, and et cetera, you can always like turn within and like tune into the love that is within you. And I feel inclined to mention Jesus in this moment. I feel like I've been talking about like I've been mentioning the Bible a lot and like Jesus and stuff. Um, I found myself going on like a little rant earlier about how Jesus wasn't like meant to be a savior, but like was here to teach us and all that stuff. Um, and like if you read the Bible, like if you read like minus all the fluff and stuff, like it definitely like talks about like self discovery and soul searching. Like the kingdom is within us, and like I'm not a Christian, so I feel weird whenever I talk about the Bible. But like I do like read the Bible, and I do believe in some of you know the ideas. We have sexual tension coming out. That's really gross. I don't know. You could have sexual tension with a Cancer person or a Capricorn. Um, I don't know what that's about, but that's an energy. Um, Ooh, I was asking in my head, why would we not feel worthy of love? Why would we not feel worthy of love? And then the Aries energy came out again on top of that. That's crazy. We have also Pisces, Cancer, Capricorn, Pisces. I wanted to say Scorpio. I'm gonna say Scorpio. Yeah, then we have water, Scorpio. So there could have been an Aries energy or someone who's generally once again very fiery, very passionate, very maybe has anger issues. Um, Someone who travels a lot? Question mark. Um, whatever this whoever this person is, there like seems to be a person who like really did a number on your self esteem. And for some of you, maybe you're still in this situation? Question mark. Um, but it definitely is like a situation where it's like a lot of emotional like distress is what I'm kind of picking up from this. But on a positive, at the top of the deck, we have you are not who you used to be. Honor your progress. I feel like some of you, you're definitely very ambitious individuals. You're definitely working towards a greater goal, and that's a beautiful thing. But maybe some of you have an issue with, if we could call it an issue, if you want to call it an issue, with identifying too much with what is going on around you. Some of you, I think, once again, you've made a lot of progress. We have Fortune Favors Bold at the top. Shout out to the creator who who inspired that saying. I had never heard that phrase until this one dude that I watch on here said that. But okay, I'm pulling from the past life deck, past life oracle. We have knighthood. We have mother, scribe, or writer. These are all titles. We have forgiveness. That's not a title. We also have Egypt. Um, so I don't know. You could be a writer. You could be somebody who writes a lot. You could also be a mother. I don't know. You could be someone who has like status, because a knight is generally like it's a pretty prestigious title. I think I don't really know too much about knights actually, but it is a prestigious title. That is what I do know, and that could be relevant to you in present tense. But I asked for what do we need to know, and like the forgiveness card comes out. There could have been a really, oh goodness, it's very specific. For some of you, there could have been a really like a really sexually charged situation that was very uncomfortable for you or someone else, or for multiple people. And there's the energy of forgiveness. That's very specific scenario. I don't know what that's about. I just got chills. But yeah, no, scribe or writer. You could be a writer. You could be a Cancer, like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, water sign. Also, candles could be relevant to you if you're wondering about candles. I think that's a yes, because there's a candle in both of these cards. I'm realizing somebody could be not struggling, but like re-examining their gender identity or like something like that, their sexual identity. That's something that's coming through. Why did the Knight card come out? I want to know why the Knight card came out. Can I pull some? I'm pull from the quiet again. Ooh, Ace of Swords or Ace of Wands. What's the Knight? What's that about? Please. We have the Hierophant, the Empress. Okay. So I guess this is like holding a title and like I don't know, being mindful of that and like understanding what it means to hold a title. I guess like if you're a manager somewhere, like just understanding that that's more than just like a title. It's like also like potentially a life changing thing. Like you're like influencing people and like telling people what to do, and you have the potential to like put wisdom in people's ear if you wanted to, or you could also spread chaos and whatever, whatever. But you know you have the ability to influence people with your title, and that is something to take seriously. If you already have a title, if you're already like something or whatever, or if you're striving for that, it's like just keep that in mind. Like before you get to where you're trying to get, just remember that like when you're striving for those sorts of things, those roles and whatnot, like you are influencing people, whether or not you want to recognize it. Like that is what's happening. Like even just being someone's friend, or even just being, you know what I mean, just being around other people, like you have the ability to influence people, and if you, it's just the gentle. divine reminder to like take that seriously and not, you know what I mean, and not like, well, I'm hearing squander. That's a funny word. And not squander it, not like take it for granted because, you know, self awareness is a very important thing. Being aware of how you affect others, you know, because we don't exist in a vacuum. You and me, we have the Six of Swords coming out as I say that. So you could be meditating a lot more, or you could be wanting to meditate more. I would definitely urge you to do that. I definitely have been taking more time for myself to do that. You have the Emperor card coming out. Once again, you're building towards something. You're the Sun card. You're building towards something. You're creating something, and it's really necessary that you keep your thoughts clean. I mean, obviously, you can't control every single thought, but you can at least. There are things you can do. I'll say that. You know, to master your mind. What else? Sorry, I'm like kind of congested. I had to drink some water. The Six of Swords here, I was thinking about that as I was coming back down to sit. Um, Six of Swords does talk about travel in a way. It talks about going from chaotic waters to more peaceful waters, assuming you're on a boat. I mean, if you're not on a boat, then we're just talking about the ways of life. You know, going from a chaotic situation to a less chaotic situation. And part of that is due to with these cards, I would say taking time for meditation, taking time for self. See how all of them have their eyes closed? Not all of the do they? I think some of them definitely have their eyes open. I don't know, but I don't think all of them have their eyes closed. Oh goodness, do they? Oh my gosh, no, they don't. I thought I was tripping for a minute. I was like, no, some of them. Yeah, the magician has his eyes wide open, looking all dark and soulless. But yeah, no. I'm gonna say that title thing again and make sure I'm gonna just reiterate that because that's coming through once again. Just make sure that you are taking your roles and titles seriously. Like if you are a teacher, if you are a dentist, if you are a doctor, if you're a tarot reader, if you, whatever you choose to do in the world, just remember that it's more than just a title. It's more than just a position. It's also like I said before, something where you can potentially change lives and you know form relationships and blah 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 blah. So, what else do you want to say? What else? What kind of messages, angels? What do you wanna? What else? I'm gonna pull from the romance angels, see what comes through. I'm gonna think specifically about money and stuff. I guess if you have money on your mind, what's going on with money? What do you want us to know about money? Forgiving and learning, attraction, wedding, ooh, period, playfulness. Okay, so once again, we have that releasing energy, like I said in the beginning of this. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in the present moment. And we could translate that because everything is energy, energy is energy. Uh, then you'll experience more money in your present moments if you release and heal past situations. You know what I mean? Um, and also to stay in that energy of the present moment, we do have attraction, which says you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So being present in this moment, the sun card right underneath that, enjoying the present moment and like being as present as you can be in every moment, because you can only create the future from the present. You know what I mean? Some of you could be getting married with the wedding card. The situation involves marriage, or this could just be about somebody that you're really close with, somebody that you're really connected to on a deep level. Yeah, for some of you, I'm getting the energy of like a past job, incoming messages. Like you could be starting, like getting to work at a place that you were working before, or alternatively, somebody from your old job, Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, if that resonates. Somebody could be coming forward, like to talk to you, or you could just be thinking about somebody from your past. I said in a previous, like on TikTok, like sometimes when the past comes up, um, like when people say like, "Oh, your ex is returning," sometimes it's not literal. Sometimes it's just like the pattern that that person brought. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like because it's safe to say that life is just a learning. I had to check if the mic was still on. It is just a learning experience, and like it's gonna keep showing up the same way until we learn. You know, and sometimes it'll be in different bodies, different people, different places, but you can't escape it. You know, you could try, but you'll spend your whole life trying. Once again, you are not who you used to be. Honor your progress. Period. Oh my goodness, all these advertisements. We have ego stroking, flattery. Somebody could be trying to stroke your egos. Somebody could be flattering you in some way, in a manipulative attempt. Yeah. Then we have Psalms 35, defense, spiritual protection. Yeah, I don't know what that energy is about. Yeah, it's a big no. um, so be safe about that. Once again, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo could be relevant energies. And once again, everything is energy, so it could just be the energy of these signs. You know what I mean? Gemini being about communication and friendship and all that. Sagittarius being about higher knowledge and travel and blah blah blah. Virgo being about routine, service, health, hard work. Pisces being about spirituality and like stuff, you know, um, creativity. I I know what Pisces is about, but I don't know. You are a very pretty princess. Shout out to Isabel for my TikTok live streams who suggested that you are on the right path. I mean, if you're thinking about it, if you're like, oop, on the DL tip, if you're thinking about it, if you're questioning it, like chances are you're on the right path. You know, if you find that there's a lot of resistance in your life, if you feel like life sometimes isn't on your side, that's usually a sign that you're on the right path. Because truth be told, when you're following the ways of this world, you know, period. But then we have gang stalking and energy vampires, which open and stalkers underneath that period. Oh goodness, creative genius. Yeah, there could be a lot of people watching you or like being interested in you right now, and not necessarily just in a negative way. Also, I don't like to incite fear or paranoia. So like, let's stay grounded and remember to protect ourselves, and all that jazz. But yeah, this energy has been coming out like all week for me, and I don't. I wrote the card, so it's like I don't know, but it's been coming out a lot for me, like in my personal readings, and then also when I've been reading for other people. So you know what I mean? Yeah. For the most part, a lot of this energy was relatively neutral or positive, but then these four cards here, they just kind of give me the skeebies. I sometimes find myself watching videos, watching tarot videos where people talk about this sort of stuff, but I really don't love getting into it. But this is what that energy is, and I guess because I don't usually do readings that are very long, so it's like I don't have the time to get into that stuff. But like this is the thing that's coming through. So if you are trying to advance in life, if you're trying to X, Y, and Z, just be mindful that these energies exist in the world, and even though you might not see it all the time, they do exist, and they are something to watch out for. So yeah, that's that on that. I'm gonna pull again from the past life deck, and then I'm gonna close this out. All right, angels, what do you want to tell us as we close this out? What do you want? Imprisonment or slavery, food and hunger. Oh goodness, persecution and inquisition, trust and faith, finances. Okay, that's pretty heavy. I probably shouldn't have pulled from the past life deck to end it. That's hilarious. Okay, so since I'm talking about the darker stuff of life, I guess this is also part of that because we have on a karmic level, that's what this stuff is talking about, like imprisonment and slavery, food and hunger, persecution and inquisition. It's like oppression on a grand scale is definitely a thing. Because sometimes when people talk about manifestation, we don't really talk about like how people are oppressed in different ways and how people are like, the glass ceiling that exists for most of us, you know. But the optimistic side of that, trust and faith, having faith and trust in yourself and in your higher power that things will work out if you continue putting efforts toward it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I'll say about that spirituality and religion. And I'm gonna end this out. Remind you that you are fully capable of doing great things, and life doesn't always have to suck. Yeah, deuces. Thanks. Also, before I actually end this, make sure you check out the link tree down below. I'm gonna put a link down below if you want to check that out. For different ways you can help support me. If you want more content by me, etc., etc. That's how you do that. So remember to be kind to yourself. Deuces.